So when we first sit down with our buyers, we say, are you considering other communities? If you're considering other communities, we have agents that we know will take care of you in those communities. And we always say to buyers, you're buying more than a house. You really are buying a community, right? So we think it's very important after that first initial meeting to give you a tour of the communities that we specialize in. And then if you are interested in looking at other communities, we refer you then to our trusted partners in our other communities. So that happens usually very early in the process, and then people narrow down which communities they want to live in.
Because usually people are looking at a handful, maybe three.
Absolutely.
3 different communities. And sometimes the house makes the decision for them.
Absolutely. And it doesn't have to be such a complicated, process. I mean, we really have people and a team in place to help you, to ask good questions, listen to what you're telling us, to help you through that process of narrowing down which community that you want to live in. And I think that is definitely one of the strengths of Houlihan Lawrence, and it's one of the strengths of our Camarines team, is that we have trusted colleagues in place in other communities. And, on Saturday, Elizabeth had set up, there was a client coming in, and he arrived. He met with me for 2 hours. Then he went to Scarsdale, met with our networking partner in Scarsdale. Then he went to Larchmont and met with the agent in Larchmont. And he really could not say enough nice things about the organization. He got off the plane. He took an Uber to Rye. Then I took him to Scarsdale, and then the agent from Larchmont picked him up in Scarsdale. And by afternoon, he had made a decision about where he wanted to move his family to. Now, that's record time.
That is record time.
That's fast.
He's very motivated.
Yeah, but he was ready. He came that day to decide where they would be moving to. So that network and that extension of our team is, I think, very, very beneficial to anyone out there thinking about a move. And hi, if you're just joining us, I think we should recap.
Yes.
If you're just joining us, this is What's Up Westchester. We come to you live every Wednesday at 1 o'clock. And today we're talking about the home buying process, start to finish, what the process looks like. We just talked about our networking partners in other communities that we refer people to. And now we're going to talk about an extension of our team, mortgage brokers.
Yep, we talked about getting those things lined up.
Absolutely. So in the very beginning, in that first initial meeting, we will make recommendations of mortgage brokers for you to talk to, because obviously before you get too far into the process, you want to know where you're going to be comfortable, what price range you're going to be comfortable in. So we go ahead and have you talk to a mortgage broker up front.
Pre-qualified, pre-approved.
Yes. And then attorney. We like to go ahead and make attorney recommendations if you don't already have an attorney, so that you can talk to the attorney to talk about the whole process.
Because
closing costs.
Definitely you'll have an idea of closing costs and what you can expect from your attorney.
Absolutely. And we work with fantastic attorneys that we work with on a regular basis, have great relationships, and then that allows us for you to help save you time, because we want your buying process to be as seamless as possible.
Absolutely.
We know everyone's busy, and we want you to be able to come to us and say, I want you to take care of this for me start to finish. And that's what we do. And again, we work with attorneys that if you want us to on your behalf, we can check in with them, see how the contract's going, how things are going. So I think that too is another
very
big benefit. And listen, we're talking about people already realizing they need a buyer's agent. But maybe we should step back a few steps and talk to you about why the buying process is so important. Or the buying process, but also having a buyer's agent. Why you need representation. Why you need a buyer's agent. Very important. There's so many things that the buyer's agent walks you through. Also, just knowing about the towns, like we said earlier, we said we only specialize in the towns and the areas that we know. Maybe that's what we should talk about. So we cover from the south,
Larchmont,
Mamaroneck,
Rye,
of
course, Harrison,
Purchase, West Harrison, Port Chester, and Rybrook. And anything outside of that, then we would refer to our networking partners within Houlihan Lawrence. And again, communicating with them throughout the whole process so that we
Checking
make this
in.
as seamless. Yes.
Right.
So we make this as seamless as possible for you, the buyer. So now let's see, we have a question.
Yes.
Let's check this question out. Someone says, it's our little Liz. She said, sorry she couldn't be here today. Can you talk about how best to prepare myself when making offers, especially in this type of market? Yes. So great point, Liz. Thank you for pointing that
And
out.
having your team in place, your lender, your attorney, and inspector ready to go already puts you ahead of the game.
Absolutely. And we use all that information in our offer when making offers. So let's say we've been out, we've looked at homes, you've narrowed your community down, you know where you want to be, and you are ready to start making an offer or offers. So when we actually make the offer, to make your offer as competitive as possible, hopefully you've already had time to speak with your mortgage broker and your attorney about whether you are comfortable going without a mortgage contingency. So if you have questions out there about what that means, we could almost do a whole topic
Probably, yes.
on that. So maybe we'll save that for another Wednesday to talk about, no mortgage contingency versus having a mortgage contingency. Obviously, if you don't have a mortgage contingency, that of course makes your offer
a little stronger.
Definitely. Actually, in some cases,
Most
much
cases
stronger.
right now.
Much stronger. Yes, much stronger. So you will already have had a chance to decide if you're comfortable with the mortgage contingency or not. So in the offer, we would be then saying, no mortgage contingency. If there is a mortgage contingency, how much you're financing, how much is cash. Then also who your attorney is, so that the seller
will
know that you've already decided on an attorney. You are ready to move forward as soon as possible.
You've retained an attorney.
Yes.
Speaks volumes.
Absolutely,
to the seller.
they know you're ready. So also some people, write notes to the seller.
Yes.
And some people laugh at this and think it's silly, but I have to tell you there are some sellers that,
Really
yes, it
respond.
is about the bottom line, it's about, price, but that can really make a difference if they're
especially if it's a situation where there are multiple bids and maybe they're all very close.
Right.
Sometimes a letter.
Yep, that can mean a lot, or maybe there's a connection that's made between the buyer and the seller. So that's also very a very nice add-on, if you will.
Right.
I remember when our sweet Drew and Craig were moving, they received so many letters, and one little letter was this little, I hope I'm explaining it right. Yes. So they knew that they were moving back. The buyers knew they were moving back to Texas. And I think the buyers maybe were from Texas.
Oh, wow.
And so they showed the little baby holding up a little sign that said, what would it be, Hook'em Horns?
Yeah.
Was that what it was?
Texas.
Yeah, so anyway, it was so cute. The baby was like holding up a sign. And so, I mean, you can get as creative as you would like.
Well, but you never know. I mean, I was in a competitive bidding situation 9 years ago, and the home seller was relocating to Texas, and I was relocating from Texas.
So that was
it kind of,
it
it
just
can
worked
work in
out.
your favor, So.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's see if we have any other questions coming in. Let's see. I think I heard the text, Yvonne. The text. Yes, the text. We just got a text over here that says.
Okay. Oh.
What is the average time? Okay. So average time.
Yes. From start to finish.
Yeah, so
when
we
you
talked
make your
about
offer, even offer to contract, and then contract to close.
Yes.
We could really break that up into two different pieces.
I would say you would expect that from contract signing to close is right around typically 60 days. We've seen people close as early as 35, 40, 45 days, but if you're getting a mortgage, you want to think it's going to take at least 30 days and probably more like 45 days. So average time, I would say, from contract signing to close is about 60 days.
About 60
days. And then once you have an accepted offer, then I would say if a contract is not signed within 2 weeks, something's not right. Usually about a week.
About a week.
It usually takes about 5
week
business
to 10 days.
Yeah,
So,
I would say 5 to 10 days. Yeah. to actually get the contract signed, fully
so.
executed. You sign, the buyer, and then the seller sign. That would be, I think, about the amount of time.
And then, sometimes I think it's good to say when we're in this buying process, of course this is for both buyers and sellers, but here, when we have an acceptable offer, we still continue to show.
Oh, yes.
So that sometimes is startling to the buyer.
Yes.
And we don't all, there are sometimes that doesn't always happen.
But for the most part,
until contracts are signed,
sellers continue to show the property. So therefore, the buyer wants to get, once they've made a decision, they want to get the contract signed as soon as possible because they know that the home is still
showing.
Yeah,
and people are still interested.
Absolutely,
right.
And it's not unusual. Just last week, we had a seller, and it was 6 offers. Right, we received 6 offers. So they're backup offers that are calling every day saying, is the contract signed yet? Is the contract signed? How's it going? So in that case, the buyers that have the accepted offer, they want to get the contract signed as soon as possible.
Right.
And then another whole topic that we could discuss another day is the inspection process.
So we're for sure doing this show twice more.
Yes,
we just came up with 2 more topics
and we'll do the inspection process. And people always say, well, when I inspect, what is the inspection for? Well, yes, it's to learn about the house, but also, if there are things that are broken,
right?
Those are things that you can ask the seller to repair. And most sellers want to repair something that's broken because
in their own
home, and they want to take care of it. However, in very competitive bidding situations, sometimes the house is, as is.
As is, right.
Little things. I mean, obviously, again, a seller wants to repair something that's broken,
damaged,
but
outright.
They're just little nitpicky things. If it's a competitive bidding situation, all those things may not be
right.
Taken care of. But wouldn't you say every transaction, is different?
It's very different.
It's very different.
No cookie cutters. No cookie cutters in this business.
Yes, no two are alike.
None.
Well, I think we're getting the signal that it's probably
need
time to wrap it up.
And I don't even feel like we
almost
called it buyer process from A to Z, and then we thought, well, people will think we're going to go through the alphabet.
Yes.
And we certainly did not get to Z. So there's more, I think.
There's more to talk about, right? So, in recap, this is What's Up Westchester. We come to you live every Wednesday. We answer questions that people have actually written in and asked us before our show, and then we actually answer questions live while we're on the show. And if you have any ideas for topics,
send them.
Yes.
Something you're dying to hear about or want us to chat about.
Curious about, let us know. We can... we welcome ideas, and we welcome your questions. So until next Wednesday, we hope you have a wonderful week.
Yes.
And we'll see you. And if you are out there interested in buying, we'll take great care of you.
For the end of the year.
Oh, and absolutely.
Right.
Yes, we want to add that. We still have people going into contract and closing before the end of the year. So,
there's time.
Yes, I know there's some of you out there looking right now, and there's still time to close by the end of the year.
Yes.
So until next Wednesday, have a great week.